All right, we are live. So, did anyone blink and suddenly notice Hamilton County is in the national spotlight again? Well, we're going to talk about it. Welcome. I'm Cameron Geesaman, your local real estate agent, community connector, and Hamilton County hype girl. We're trying that out. I've tried it a couple times. Tell me if you like it. This week, we're going to be talking kind of big moves in Noblesville, like Olympic level big, a new restaurant that is going to produce a drive-through traffic jam. So exciting. And the official countdown to hockey season is here. We're also looking at what we're going to experience this fall. And yes, there is road work that might seriously mess with your Meridian Street detour game. So, whether you're looking for things to do, places to live, or just want the insider scoop on what's happening in Hamilton County, this is your Hamco Roundabout, and you're in the right place. So, grab your coffee or your tea, and let's talk Hamco. All right. First up, we are talking the Olympic styled, the Olympic USA Gymnastics Training and Wellness Center that is coming to Noblesville, Indiana. I feel like I'm actually a little high. Let me go down a little bit. Okay. So first off, this is a rendering of the proposed USA Gymnastics Training and Wellness Center. Of course, it's a rendering, so we don't know if that's exactly what it's going to look like. But it's coming to Noblesville, you guys. I am so excited. I've had many clients who have reached out and said, hey, we've got a daughter or a son that are in gymnastics. And what facilities do you have? And there is JPAC, which is actually an Olympian, runs that facility. But it's in McCourtsville. So this is in Hamilton County. It's going to be amazing. So Tumbling in Noblesville selected as site for U.S. Gymnastics Training and Wellness Center. Phase 1 of Innovation Mile, a 600-acre hub near I-69, focuses on sports, businesses, and technology, will bring a $1 billion economic impact to the city of Noblesville over the next 30 years, which is amazing. A financial figure bolstered by the addition of USA Gymnastics, which recently announced it will break ground on a training and wellness center at Innovation Mile in 2026. Based on data alone, USA Gymnastics will drive about 22,000 room nights a year in Hamilton County, which is a big deal for our hospitality industry. We've actually been seeing a lot of hotels pop up, which is really great. There is, because of all of the like the Innovation Mile, that is the venue that is Noblesville. Fishers now has their event center. There's all this move to try to bring more activity in that Hamilton County corridor. A lot of conferences that are happen downtown. So it'll be kind of nice to have some stuff that's coming up to the north side. That's not just Noblesville. That's all of central Indiana. The revenue that we're seeing shows that this is a great investment for our state and our region. Now, the facility is a $115 million investment, is set to open in 2028. It will host USA Gymnastics national team camps, educational workshops, community outreach events, and community competitions throughout the year in all disciplines, including artistic, rhythmic, trampoline, and tumbling, acrobatic, parkour, and gymnastics. So I have a niece and a nephew that this is going to be really exciting for, because one does parkour. He is amazing. It's crazy what he does with jumping off of things. I'm always texting Autumn, that's my sister-in-law. Oh my gosh, are you like just scared that he's going to like break a bone? Hasn't yet, so knock on wood. And then her daughter does cheer, so kind of in that same realm of tumbling. She'll probably do some tumbling courses here. It's such a great addition. I'm really excited. I'm curious if you think this is good. Is this a good addition to the area, or do we think it's going to produce traffic? I think that whole corridor, they've done a good job of the roads. There's a lot of roundabouts already around there. The Ruoff is right by this area. So it's a hub that's kind of business. There's a lot of businesses that are right there. And so I personally think it's really great. I think that it's going to bring a lot of awareness also to Hamilton County and what the community provides. So it'll be a welcoming place for young gymnasts who can come and see their role models training. It will be a gathering point and educational basis for the local community as well. JC Phelps, so that's who I mentioned a second ago, actually owns JC Phelps Athletic Center in Greenfield. I guess it's Greenfield. It's as you're driving on McCourtsville, so my bad. It's JPAC is the gym. And from what I understand, it was mostly a gymnastics gym, but now it actually is also a cheer gym. So they've got a pretty good group of cheer teams as well. So anyways, I just think this is great. Again, you can go to this article and read a little bit more about JPAC and what all of it implies. But I personally think it is a great addition. Congratulations for Noblesville for snagging that super cool venue. And if it looks like this, it's going to be really cool. Whenever I look at these, you always see all the trees. And I'm always curious. You're going to have to plant a bunch of trees to have that many trees. Okay. Next up, I have had on this channel multiple times where we have talked about the Chick-fil-A that is coming at 146th Street and 37. You guys, there's a Chick-fil-A not but like 3 to 5 minutes north of that and about 3 to 5 minutes east of this location. Everybody I've talked to, okay, I'm kind of excited because it's like slightly closer to my house and it's new and whatever. But it is right at a location that I have a feeling it's going to cause a bunch of traffic. So I'm actually not happy about it. I am and I'm not. I have mixed reviews, partially because it's right in front of Costco on 37. Let me go to the article. Sorry, I haven't gone to the article. It is at an intersection where you're going to have to like go out to where the light is, like there's not quick access, and that light has already started to produce traffic because of Costco, because Costco's always busy, which I do love the addition of that. But now adding the fact of the Chick-fil-A, I think it's going to be a pain. And I think I'm just here to say that at some point in time, we're going to have some traffic things that are going to have to change. But restaurant celebrates with Cows Eat Free offer on opening day. So a new Chick-fil-A restaurant will begin serving the Noblesville community at its newest location on Thursday, October 2nd. That's in 2 days, you guys. Selected Roger. I'm just not going to say your last name because I don't know how to pronounce it. To be the local owner operator of Chick-fil-A off of Highway 37. Deutscher. Adam says Deutscher. We're going to go with it. To celebrate the opening, Deutscher and team are calling on the community to show their spots on opening day, whether it's a full cow suit or a simple cow-spotted accessory. Guests of all ages are invited to join the fun. Anyone who visits a restaurant on opening day dressed in cow attire can redeem 1 free entree or kids meal inside the restaurant or in the drive-thru. You guys, I just want to say, I'm a fashion, I like fashion. I don't spend as much money as I would like to spend on fashion because it's expensive. But I will tell you right now, cow print is in. So you should be able to go to Target or Walmart or whatever and get cow print, because it's been kind of shocking at how much cow, and sometimes they're like, cow like that. All I'm saying is go buy a t-shirt so that you can get a free meal. Then it's not really free because you bought a t-shirt, but you know what I mean. Or just get a white t-shirt and draw black like spots on it and call yourself a cow. I don't know if I have anything that is cow attire, but if you have cow attire, congratulations, you get a free entree or kids meal inside the restaurant. I'm excited about it. Again, I'm worried, to be honest. I do love that it does talk about the caring for the Noblesville community. So they are committed to giving back to the Noblesville community by celebrating the opening with a $25,000 donation for Chick-fil-A Inc. to support local hunger relief efforts of Gleaners Food Bank of Indiana and Feeding America Partner Food Bank in honor of the new restaurant. And then participating in the Chick-fil-A Shared Table program, which redirects surplus food to local nonprofits, helping to create over 35 million meals nationwide to date, and then creating approximately 80 jobs in service of the new restaurant. I'm curious. So Chick-fil-A, at least in this area, I have heard, I would like clarification. I think you can actually apply at 14. So it's one of the few locations that if your kids want a job, that they are one of the younger, higher companies that are in the area. I will say our son applied and did not get accepted, I think, but I have many friends that actually have gotten jobs there, or their kids have gotten jobs there. And what's really nice is they, look for kids that tend to have, where they've done community service or are giving, or probably, part of their church and have donated their time. So I think it's really cool. Really great little program that they have over there at Chick-fil-A. So go get your free meal in your cow outfit. I think I might drive by just to see how many people in like full-blown cow uniforms, or like uniforms, that's not the word, costumes. Like, I'm curious to see how many cows are going to be out there. might be fun. Might go cow tipping. I did that once in high school, you guys. It's a fun experience. Just don't get caught. Okay. Next up, I digress. Okay. So Indy Fuel, if you are a hockey fan, which I have to admit, I'm not a huge hockey fan, but I was told that hockey is a lot like soccer. We have friends, actually, one of the police officers on the Fishers Police Force, their boys are huge into hockey, partially because the mom is from Canada. So, of course, hockey is huge. And they came to our son's soccer game and we're like, oh my gosh, you've got to go to an Indy Fuel game. They're so fun. I, again, have never been. And so it could be really fun. And so I thought I'd let everybody know the action begins on October 17th, again, in their in-state rival, or against their in-state rival, the Fort Wayne Comets. The venue is amazing. So the Fishers Event Center, I'm just going to give a real great plug to them, because we've now been there. We just went to the Hans Zimmer concert, and we went to Forrest Frank, and what did I say?
You didn't.
I just did.
No.
He's behind, so there's that. What's the football team? Fisher's Freight. Thanks. We have Fisher's Freight tickets, and the venue is really great. It's, the upper seats, you can still walk down. They're open to the upper area where there's like food, and usually you can get you guys, it's Monday. Welcome. Hi. Cameron's brain is not firing today. Trying to get it to fire. You're welcome. What? I know. I think it's Monday. My brain is functioning like it's a Monday, is what I was trying to say. So, you guys, so much fun had by all. Okay. Gear. You can buy like t-shirts and stuff. So a lot of times there's been like a table set up that you can buy stuff. Anyways, memorabilia. I'm going to get back on point here, you guys. Indy Fuel. The Indy Fuel is ready to hit the ice for the start of the 25-26 season. The action begins on October 17th. Already said that. Opening night will be packed with a pregame fan fest on the plaza at the Fishers Event Center. There will also be a specialty giveaway. So typically, just like the Fishers Freight, there was a giveaway. I love when they do that after the game. Fans will want to stick around for post-game autographs presented by Detour Voran. I'm assuming he's one of the players. Autographs will be with select Fuel players right outside the garage. So, and then the website, like if you go, and you can honestly just go to the Fisher's Freight's, not Fisher's Freight, the Fisher's Fuel, to get their schedule, which looks really busy. That's a lot of games. Is that just me, or is that a lot of games? And are they called games? I need all of my hockey fans. I should just call Kim. She'll give me all of the deets. And I do want to go see one of the Fuel games because, again, I love the venue. I love how like it's small but yet still big, right? Like it's not as big as going to downtown to say the Colts play, but it is a big enough venue that it's bigger than like the Innovation Mile that I talked about that's in Noblesville. So it's kind of nice. You've got kind of a smaller, quaint one in Noblesville, a medium-sized one, and then you have to go downtown to get to the really big venues. But we have great venues. Honestly, I probably haven't talked about that on our channel. Maybe that's a video that I need to do. Put a comment if you want to know about all the venues that we have. I actually feel like that would be a really boring video, but at the same time, maybe somebody would be interested. But to kind of know what type of venues we have here and what type of events are put on, because we've got musical or like where plays are going on or musicals are going on. There's also like small comedy clubs. There's big venues, of course, like when Taylor came to town, it's at Lucas Oil, which is huge. And so, but conventions are down here. There's so many activities and things that I feel like every weekend you can find a venue that is having something like the Jazz Kitchen, one of my favorite locations, one of my favorite artists here locally, Sarah Scarborough, has stuff there. But the Jazz Kitchen, like if you love jazz, great venue for that. So anyways, I know I kind of digress, but the Fuel is at the Fishers Event Center, and there's tons of different event centers, comedy clubs, and things all around town. In Hamilton County, I actually just learned that Hamilton County Fishers has a comedy club that is in the old paper mill. It's not a mill. The paper company. Is that what you would call it? They did the paper.
It was a
newspaper maker. I don't even know what you would call it. Anyways, the newspaper was printed, a printing press, a newspaper printing location. Anyways, there's a comedian that goes and is there. So that was really cool. Found that out. Okay, you guys, squirrel. Next topic. I found this really interesting. So Realtor.com put out an article, and I love that they targeted Carmel as the for the article. So Carmel, Indiana homeowners can expect a cool and dry fall, says the Old Farmer's Almanac. So I don't know why I thought this was an interesting topic, partially just because, again, why did they pick Carmel? Why didn't they, specify Indy? I'm going to say this is an Indy topic, Hamilton County, Hamco topic. I want to know what the weather is going to be like. So I thought I'd share it with you guys and let you know what the Farmer's Almanac is saying that we're going to experience for fall. And then we can determine if it's going to be real or not. The Old Farmer's Almanac has issued its fall 2025 forecast, and Indiana is in for a cooler, drier autumn, as are most of the surrounding areas. For residents living in Carmel, that means crisp temperatures, reduced rainfall, and a picture-perfect foliage season. Well, you guys, we're the Midwest. We always have a picture-perfect foliage season. That's nothing new. As if having an idyllic fall isn't nice enough, Carmel has also earned national recognition with the suburb landing on the Realtor.com 2025 hottest zip codes list. There you go. So to all those new homeowners in Carmel, it's time to start prepping your abode for the cooling chill. So not that it really matters. Indiana's forecast, the almanac, so you can kind of see. So we're like right here. So cool and dry, right? And some of Minnesota and Wisconsin are going to have some cool. And then the red is hotter, warmer and dry. It's so interesting that you have like these little pockets of cool and dry. warm, near normal precipitation. Regionally, in the Ohio Valley forecast, September is expected to average 68 degrees with 2 inches of rain. Okay, I just want you to know September is almost over. 68 degrees was not correct. I felt like it was in the 80s, and gosh, I was sweating a lot. And 2 inches of rain, 1 inch below normal, which is true. We really didn't have very much rain in September. It was pretty dry. October will dip to 56 degrees. So excited. Fall is one of my favorite times of year. Like I just love it. It's literally, and for those of you that aren't from here, that one of the things I talk about in our videos a lot is the that we have all 4 seasons. And I love that. I love that we transition from season to season. And so leave a comment. Do you love fall, or are you not in an area that you really get to experience fall? Fall is kind of your winter. Because you either have hot, like scorching hot, or you have like middle of the road. October will dip to 56, about 2 degrees, cooler than usual with another 2 inches of rain, also below average. Conditions will alternate between sunshine and showers with warmth early in the season, a cooler mid-October, and a mild finish. This mirrors patterns across the Midwest, where states like Ohio, Kentucky, and Illinois are also trending cooler and drier than normal, in contrast to the Southeast and Texas, where warmer fall conditions will linger. So then it goes into the Carmel housing market. And I wanted to just kind of go into this because, again, this kind of blends into our second kind of half of the show where I kind of talk about like the stats and everything. Carmel's real estate market is making national waves. Zip code 46033 ranked number 45 on Realtors.com's list of the hottest zip codes of 2025. Homes here had a median list price of $574. We're going to get to that in a minute because I'll show you kind of the data currently. Sold in just 36 days and drew through 3.2 times more listing views per property compared with the national average, which is true. Like, I agree with that. Other Midwest zip codes also placed in the top 50, outscoring the region's buyer momentum. Missouri is both, and then Ohio. Which was interesting. The takeaway buyers are zeroing in on the Midwest suburbs like Carmel that balance lifestyle amenities, affordability compared with coastal markets, and strong local economies. So I really love this because so many times when Indiana or Indianapolis gets put into the news for affordability, I said it a couple weeks ago, it's deceiving. And so I really love that Realtor.com affordability compared with coastal markets. That I agree with, because yes, we are more affordable with the same kind of ecosystem other than mountains and oceans and rivers. We do have a couple rivers. But I mean, raising a family, like I personally don't think you can get much better. It's going to cost you a little bit more in Carmel, but I really love this. And yes, we have a strong economy. It goes into like housing tips. And you can always find those housing tips anywhere. But anyways, just thought that was kind of cool. I'm curious to see, will we have kind of a drier, cooler fall? I'm sure that it'll be like every year where it goes like this in October. And then November kind of balances out. And then December kind of merges into the cold. So there you go. That is the takeaway for what the almanac says we're going to get for Carmel or Hamilton County, I guess is really what you could say. Okay. So that's kind of like the breaking point, or it's kind of the middle of our show. Ultimately, I always like to say thank you for watching. Please leave a comment in the comment section, because I do like to kind of interact with our viewers. If you're watching this and it's not live, totally fine. Still ask the question. I like to get back to you and make sure that I'm answering your questions. And if there's something specific that you want to know that is more insider information, I'd love to be able to answer those questions. Okay. In the second half, we talk about data. We talk about what's happening in the market, where are houses moving, what does it look like, and then I show you some houses so that you can kind of get an idea of what can you get for said price in said area. This is really just to kind of give you a view of what's happening and how things are moving, so that if you are considering moving, we can help you with that process and kind of walk you through each of these stages. So I always like to start off with kind of what road work is happening. And so currently right now, the road work that is projected is the closures and restrictions coming to the Meridian Street and I-465 interchange between Carmel and Indy. If you take this road, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to hear all of the complaints of how bad traffic is, because it is going to suck. It's not going to be pleasant. Carmel goes through this. These areas are growing by leaps and bounds. And so therefore this happens. You have to change the infrastructure of the highway. And so the project is meant to improve traffic in a 2-mile area around the connection between Indy's Beltway and US 31 into Hamilton County. So they need to, INDOT, we're just going to say that, says work on the interchange will get an overhaul soon, starting on or after Monday, October 6th. Crews will begin doing work in a 2-mile improvement. I already said that. The work will include a speed limit change on both I-465 and US 31 in the area, dropping the speed limit down to 45 miles per hour. Phase 1 of the work will include closures of the southbound US ramp to 106th Street through late December, closures of eastbound 106th Street at US 31 through late December, and then closures on eastbound I-465 ramp to southbound Meridian Street through mid-December. So there's a map down here. So see the map below so you can kind of see where these are at. So let's see if I can zoom out. There you go. So this is 465. So you're going to see, and they're adjusting these intersections. So on 106th Street and then the main 465 and that ramp, so to speak. So if you are driving south, let's see if I can, if you are driving south on US 31 and you need to exit onto 106th Street, INDOT says you should exit at 116th Street and head southbound on Pennsylvania Street until reaching 106th Street. Okay. Then the next one, oh, sorry. Let's see if I can move this down. If you are traveling east, so, sorry, you guys. If you're traveling east on 106th Street, 6th Street, you won't be able to cross US 31. Instead, you should head north on Illinois Street and drive up to 111th Street, where you'll be able to then head east, then turn down Pennsylvania Street to get back on 116th Street, 106th Street. It's hard to say fast. And if you're hoping to get off of eastbound I-465 onto Meridian, you'll instead have to take the northbound US 31 exit, drive a mile north to the 106th Street exit, drive through the roundabout to the ramp down to US 31 and take that onto Meridian Street. I'm just going to say right now, y'all are just going to just blow a lid, because this is going to suck. To say that you have to drive another mile to then be able to get on, so exciting. The thing is that I always know that once it's done, right? Once everything's finished and completed, it's going to be great. But until then, that's not going to be fun. And it's going to be all the way through to December. So there you go. Happy street news. Not a new roundabout, but new ramps. Okay. Next up on the conversation is, I try to, not every live show do I talk about kind of the market and where it's going. But I do want to kind of have a conversation about the pending home sales post first decline in 3 months, even as mortgage rates drop. Essentially, to kind of summarize the article, essentially pending U.S. home sales dipped 1% year over year in the last 4 weeks ending September 21st. So it's kind of down here. And this is the first decline in nearly 3 months So that's not great. Mortgage rates are also falling, and the weekly average rate reached 6.26. Let's see. I looked up the exact, but this is below 6. Redfin agents report that many would-be buyers are waiting for rates to fall below 6. Well, there it is. The weekly average mortgage rate has fallen 6.26, the lowest level in nearly a year, and down roughly 6.8 at the start of the summer. The dip was in anticipation of the Fed's first interest rate cut of the year. Unfortunately, it hasn't triggered a resurgence. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about, because ultimately, I think what's happened is prices are, I'll kind of leave it there if you want to read it. Prices are still high, even with rate relief. And then many buyers are still feeling priced out. And especially that's happening here in Hamilton County. Hopefully, we're hoping that as it progresses, that we'll expect some softness locally. Even if rates drop, I don't think there's going to be a full-blown rebound in buyer activity, honestly, overnight. I think it's going to kind of go slowly. Buyers in Hamilton County may still be cautious, and that's what I'm seeing when clients are looking at houses and or considering purchasing. There are fewer homes are being listed locally because we're heading into kind of the fall winter time, which that happens. It's funny when I talk with a lot of clients who call and say, hey, we're thinking about listing our home. This is when we'll list it, but everybody says to wait till spring. Honestly, you have less inventory, so you're not competing with as many people. The buyers are still out there. And it's funny, around the same percentage of homes sell in the winter months as they do in the summer months. Yes, there's more buyers, but there's also more houses in the summertime, or that spring to summer. And so I actually think the fall winter is a great time to sell. We just have to walk through what that looks like. There is also negotiation strengths that are going to help for the buyer because homes are sitting on the market a little longer. And so that's been really help. The market is just shifting. I watch kind of the mortgage story locally to kind of see. And so when rates do dip in Indiana or via kind of local lenders, which we're seeing a lot of new construction drop their the rates, or they're doing promotions, which there were actually more permits pulled for new construction, which is good. But I think partially that's because a lot of these new builders are spending the money to buy down the rates and do things. So that kind of gives you kind of an idea. Again, I think Hamilton County is still doing well, and I think that we're going to continue to do well. So, okay. On to it, if you're a stat person, this kind of leads into kind of the next section. I'm focusing on Hamilton because last time I focused on Indianapolis. So these are the Hamilton County stats, which currently, just so you know, in all of my BOR currently right now, there are 7,004 listings. 2 weeks ago when we were here, there were 6,889. So you can see that's a tick up. That's almost 200 homes where we've increased in the amount of listings that we have, and they're not, they're sitting a little bit longer. Where was I? I'm going to focus on Carmel today, but all of Hamilton County, the median price is $430. There were 651 that closed. And again, these are August data. We're at the end of September. So in 2 weeks, I'm going to give you the September data. So I don't kind of like go into this a lot because I know I'm going to go into it a lot in 2 weeks. But it can kind of just show you that we are sitting longer, right? The median days is 17, which I'll get to what Carmel is, and then 1.74 supply of inventory. So I then looked at current data, and currently right now where Carmel is sitting, there's 151 active listings in Carmel right now. The average days on market is 41 days for the current actives. When you see here with what you're looking at, the average market, let me switch over to just Carmel. So see how it's saying days on market? That is the closed sales. Okay. That is completely different than the active sales. And so I wanted to give you that data because that's something I look at. It's 41 days of the homes that are currently active on the market sold. So there's still ones that are moving really quick, 9 days, and our inventory is 1.5. So 1.5 months it's going to take to sell that 219 active. Now, again, this is active when this is running. And that's why I always want to pull the data of when I go into the system and search exactly how many are currently active, it's showing 151. So those numbers fluctuate, right? And then the median price for active homes currently right now is 650,000, where you can see here it's showing 550 for last month. Now, again, I'm only showing you active. I'm not showing you solds. Solds is the data of really what the data is and what you really need to track or look at, because active, although yes, it's a data point and I look at it, I don't think it's as important as a solds. Right? Because you're always, especially with actives, you're going to have those ones that have been on there forever. And solds are moving a lot faster than the actives are, clearly, because you can see where the variation is. But you can also see the difference between what Indianapolis is and what Carmel is, right? So this week I pulled 3 listings. I actually have a bonus extra one because we had a few people that asked my opinion on what I thought about the last house, which we'll get to in a minute. But I wanted to show you kind of the first and kind of go through what there currently is in Carmel. So we're going to start with the first one. Yes, you can buy a house under 300,000 in Carmel. We have a couple of people that have reached out that want to try to find houses. I'm actually shocked at the fact that this house has been on the market for 26 days. You can see that right here. It is listed for 280,000. Now, what I can't see here, because I don't have that up, is, was it priced higher? Has it now dropped in price? What's going on? So those are all questions that if I had a client call me and ask me about the house, I'm gonna explore it. But it's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. 1 bath's probably not going to be exciting situation for a lot of people. It's 1,008 square feet, built in 1973. But you guys, it's super cute. They've painted the wall, had it be a little trendy. It's at least in decent shape with LVP flooring. This looks like the entry from the garage is what I'm assuming that is. Yeah. Okay. So that's the entry to the garage. So you kind of walk through and then you're into your, what looks like a galley kitchen, because it's just kind of like a walkway versus a big open kitchen. But again, it's 1,000 square feet. This also could be a great first starter home for someone, right? Who maybe, especially if it's 3 bedrooms, it could be, if someone who is younger and wants to be able to maybe have one roommate, you guys could split it. You could purchase it and then have a renter. I'm not sure why the last picture is of the light. It's very interesting. Location wise, so let's look at that, because I always like to show you where the location is. So let me scroll out here. So this is 106th Street. They're going to have a lot of fun off of Meridian. 106th Street, really close to the water park. This is a phenomenal water park, Carmel's water park. This is Meridian, but you're super close to so much. You've got another Broken Egg here, Whole Foods Market. Like, everything's really, really close. This is Nora, so you're actually south of Carmel, right? Carmel is really up here. And so it's down, super close access, great access to get on the highway. You'll have to plan around it because, like we said, they're doing work on that, but you go a different route. That's what I love about Indiana. And I say on our channel all the time, all of our roads are straight. So it's like, you just have to go down and around. And it's not as bad as like having where there's only one way in or out of an area. So anyways, thought it was really cute. 280,000 on the market for 26 days. I'm sure there's some room for movement. And because it's been on the market for 26 days, as a buyer, that like I would talk to your agent about what that looks like. What's the strategy? Because there's multiple different strategies. It's literally one of my favorite topics, is strategy on how to approach going to this. Oh, I did see right there. See, it started at 299.9. So they probably started too high because the market has shifted. So that's house number one. House number two, we went more to kind of the price of where I was seeing that at the median home price was in Carmel currently right now for active listings. This is not closed. Again, there's a difference, but I want to kind of give you a gauge on like if you're wanting to be kind of in that median range, which is 650,000. This house, super cute, 140 Carmel View Drive. It's essentially downtown, which we'll show you that here in a little bit, but 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, which is crazy to have 3 baths in a 2,800 square foot little ranch. This house sounds amazing to me. And it's been on the market for 41 days. It was listed high with $699, but now it's down to $650. So there's, been some movement there. It's so cute. They've done a great job of kind of having not a mid-century modern, like the house isn't, but it's got those modern finishes, white wood, tiled fireplace, big, huge window there at the front, big open kitchen with that seating area, which is really great. Love that. This is completely remodeled. This is not open because of when it was built. They completely gutted this whole space and redid it. And I think they did a fabulous job. And you can find houses that are like this where you could do this, right? Like if you don't like this style, you can still open up the walls. It actually has a pantry and a laundry room, which is great. This looks like the primary bedroom. My pet peeve, if you've watched my channel enough, you hate that I don't have any descriptions down here, so I can't actually even tell you what room that is. Again, I'm assuming it's a primary. It looks like it because it's got the larger walk-in closet, bathroom, walk-in shower feel, right? Like it's got that whole big space. This looks like I don't know if it is traditionally actually a flip or if they just purchased something else and moved out. Okay, so that's probably the office. And now it tells me that they probably didn't flip it because their office is still there. Great secondary bathroom. Here's the basement, which is really, really great. It's nice to be able to have a space to be able to kind of go down to and hang out. You don't always get those in some of these older ranch homes. Looks like there's a bedroom and bathroom also in that basement, a sauna. That's great. Workout room, tons of storage. And then the backyard, looks like they have a ramp there in the back. Nice little fire pit area. So there you go. Really cute. Now it is location. I wanted to show you this location because it's pretty darn great. Okay, this is Main Street. So you literally are right around the corner from the public Carmel Clay Public Library. This is Range Line. So this is the start. I mean, there's still stuff here, but of the Arts and Design District, you can walk to Bubs. They do tons of events down here. You literally are super close to the Palladium and Civic Theater. I mean, I don't know how you could get any closer to all of this stuff. Like it is in a great, great location. Just trying to get to there's Chris Kindle Market is right there. So you're literally right down. You practically could walk there, I'm sure. And I think that's why you're seeing that price point of that 649 because you're right there. And let me zoom back in. You're within walking distance to the Monon, which is right here. So you could literally just walk down and around and get on the Monon. I walk to the public library. Such a great location. I do think that ultimately, I think you're paying a lot for location. It is remodeled. It's a 2,800 square foot home though. Like that is huge in a ranch, which is a ranch and basement. And it's great because if you look at kind of the, see if I can go down a little bit more. there's the dimensions, right? So you got a primary, kitchen, dining, family, and then you've got so a second room is on the main, and then you've got the third bedroom in the basement, which you saw that also has a bathroom. So really great property. Thought that I was like, oh, that's a solid property. Again, I'm kind of surprised that it's 41 days, but that tells me that it's probably still overpriced. But great little location. Okay, next one I want to show you the most expensive house in Carmel, which we are starting to see these high-priced houses. I want you to notice it's a Zionsville address. So one of the things we tell all of our clients, and I'm going to tell you that if you're looking for a home, do not look by the city, look by the school district, because this is a Carmel school district home, but yet a Zionsville address. That's why they also are talking about rezoning or reestablishing zip codes, because this is a perfect example that you're a Zionsville city address, but yet you're in Carmel school districts. So been keeping an eye on that as well. It is a 5-bedroom, 6 and 2 half baths, 13,904 square foot home. And it is just gorgeous. So let's kind of flip through these pictures. You definitely can say it's an estate. It's quite large. I'm always interested. Oh, okay. I'm like, please don't tell me it's not going to show me pictures. I love estates like this, but it always is interesting to see what style. So this is very traditional, like, oh, what's the word? I mean, yes, traditional, but colonial. It's not even colonial. You know what I mean? But it's like the ornate trim, the filigree that you see. It is estately, right? Oh, that coffered ceiling is gorgeous. The furniture, you can kind of tell the style of the homeowner. But what I love about this property is you really could come in and change the whole feel. This could be even a modern styled feel, depending on how you shift the decor and the furniture, curtains, the decor. The kitchen, ultimately you have more ornate finishes. Those are going to be tough. You're not going to be able to have that be as modern as maybe you would want it. But it's a gorgeous property for $11.9 million. And so you just have to decide, is that kind of your vibe, right? The darker wood, but it's so beautiful. Like, I just want to like stare at it. So that's the office, dark, kind of moody, pink room. Oh, look at the bunk room. I haven't looked at all these pictures because I always like to kind of flip through them with you to kind of see them, see what they are. That's a cool bar. Wine. Oh, that's cool. Oh my gosh. See, like they need a description of this to kind of know like where in this house. I'm assuming it's upstairs because of the pitch of the ceilings. But that's super cool. Look at that pool. You guys, the gazebo. And then this looks like a secondary house. So maybe it could be even an ADU, but look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? Okay. So they didn't do that many pictures. I'm kind of surprised they did 46 pictures. You can have a lot more. I feel like there's so much more to see, but maybe they're doing that so that you go and see it. It's been on the market 40 days. They haven't changed the price, which isn't a surprise. I'm interested to know if they priced it because another house hit the market. Let me show you where this is in correlation to, so where we were just talking earlier is up over here, right? Like right around in here. And so it's all the way almost to Zionsville. You're still close to Coxhall Garden, which is really great. And you're really close to be able to jump to get on 421. The reason I brought this one up is because many people have asked me about this property, which this was the Jim Irsay's property. And it originally was listed for $12 million. It closed recently and sold for $11,750,000. And so you don't see this this price point listed very often. There's definitely a lot more properties that are in Zionsville now that and or even like Westfield, Carmel, that you're seeing these types of prices, but many people wanted to kind of get my take on what I thought about his estate. That other property is right here, and so it was kind of interesting. I wondered if when they're sold, they thought, oh, okay, so there are buyers out there. Maybe we should list ours as well. And so just kind of curious what what that decision was, which I'll probably never know. But I love that it's tucked pretty far back. You can't actually, when you drive along the road, you don't see it. I love that they gave descriptions so you can see this is aerial view of a state where you can kind of see where that he has a golf um, putting green, fountains, uh, tennis court, extra house, and just is an amazing estate entrance. So this is another one where I'm curious as to who the homeowner is. Are they going to change anything? This isn't maybe as ornate as the last one I showed you, but still has some really ornate finishes, filigree style. Again, love the arched windows. It does have that darker wood, but this actually feels like it's more of a neutral dark versus the other one, that glossy wood floor is actually dating a house. And so this is, I can guarantee that when I walk in this house, it doesn't feel red. This is a very rich wood color. Don't know if they changed that or if that is original to when they built it. Love stonework, love, textures on houses. Surprised he had a black kitchen, but he probably had multiple kitchens. Office. I feel like, funny to say, this feels very Jim Irsay. Like the wood and the leather and having a big chair and be able, do Colts players come and just sit here and have conversations with them in that room? See, there's another kitchen. So that's the nanny's suite. That's super cool. She has her own kitchen. That's beautiful. Of course, have to have a basketball court. That's an intense workout. Look how big that is. That is an awesome workout space. Movie theater or cinema with a true cinema. I think that's so cool. I feel like it's such a vibe that you can be able to have, right? Like you can have a party for all the kids or the grandkids, which I'm sure that he did, right? That he had all this family over and it wouldn't surprise me one bit where like he would get a release of a movie that would be early that you then could be able to watch it in your own movie theater. The kids could walk up and get their ticket and get, popcorn and candy and stuff. That's so cool. I love that. This bar is super cool. That's a lot of wine. I'm sure I could find at least one bottle of wine that I could enjoy. Pool table. I don't know why we go from inside to outside. Literally stresses me out. And that's all the pictures. They didn't even do very much of the outside estate. Mostly you're seeing it from this image, right? Like you're on a Pete Dye golf course, which is a wonderful golf course. And you can kind of see the estate, so to speak, a little bit more because they didn't do many outdoor pictures of the estate. So wanted to show it to you. I'm sure you probably could have found it online, but I always love just kind of talking through what that looks like. You're literally only probably seeing 10% of this house. With it being 25,000 square feet, they didn't even show, it's 10 bathrooms. It says 6 baths or 6 bedrooms, but I'm sure that there are other bedrooms that are rooms, and you just don't get to see it all. So anyways, it kind of shows you the location like it was with the other one. So I'm just curious. It's one of those where it's like, did the last listing list because Jim listed his, and it sold so quickly, which I have to admit was somewhat of a stunner to see that it listed so fast. I honestly did not expect it to go this fast. I actually called the listing agent because I was hoping to do a video tour for you guys, but he's like, we've already received an offer. And I kind of was flabbergasted. I was like, what, already? Like, that's amazing. But it also shows, and or I hope that maybe the person that bought it is just such a huge Colts fan and bought it partially for what it was, more than anything else. So I thought that was really, really cool. So anyways, that's a wrap on this week's Hamco Roundabout. Of course, thanks as always for hanging out and staying in the loop with what's kind of going on across the North Indy suburbs. Curious what you're excited about. Was it the Indy Fuel that is right around the corner, or are you counting down the days until you can dress like a cow and go get a free meal at Chick-fil-A off of 146th Street? If this episode gave you something new to talk about, or it reminded you why Hamilton County is so special, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on what's coming up next. I'll be back in 2 weeks for another Hamco Roundabout. And don't forget to stay local, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. 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 I wonder how many people stay until the end. Bye. How many times you can say bye. So funny.